Hey guys, want to do a quick review for a film put out in '91 called Puppet Master 3. Next entry in my Puppet Master franchise review series here, trying to review them all before Puppet Master The Littlest Reich comes out on the 25th. But this one is definitely one of my favorite of the whole franchise for sure, and I think that's universally agreed upon. This is one of the best. Because this essentially is like a prequel. It takes it back to the Nazi regime, and it goes back to Toulon, and it shows him as a normal puppeteer and how he becomes the puppet master and all that. And it shows him how, like, his whole puppet show when he has the puppet master thing locked down, and the Nazis want to know how he's making these puppets walk and everything without strings. And Richard Lynch actually plays a big top tier guy in the Nazi regime, and he's trying to kill Toulon and get his secrets and all that. And there's this doctor who's trying to reanimate Nazi bodies and all that, because in real life Hitler was really involved in the cult, or not involved, but really interested in the cult and all that. So it does make sense. It's not too far of a stretch. The story, surprisingly, being a full moon film, but that's all I really want to give away plot-wise, because there's some cool stuff that happens. Unfortunately, they do away with Torch, which is a huge downfall for me, kinda. I mean, it does show him being made in part 2, so it makes sense he wouldn't be in this one. But, he really fits that whole Nazi aesthetic, so it would have been cool to see him in it for sure. But they make up for it by adding Six Shooter into the scene. He's definitely one of my favorite puppets of all time. Just the design of him is badass. He has guns, 6 arms like a spider, and they use him to really cool effect. Like, there's a scene where these Nazis are in like a brothel, and Toulon puts Six Shooter climbing up this wall like a spider, and it looks really cool. Definitely one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing, and when he shoots the Nazi guy, definitely a badass scene. Leech Woman makes her return here, despite Paramount wanting to boot her off the franchise after part 2. She makes an appearance, a quick appearance though. This shows the creation of Blade, which is really cool. And this movie's of note too because it tells you who is 3 of the characters in this movie. It tells you who the wife, or who the Bleach Woman is, who is his wife. I mean, they're not really spoilers because it doesn't really have anything to do with the story. But it tells you that a bookkeeper is Jester, and the bus driver or something is Pinhead. And it does tell you who Blade is, but I don't want to give that away, because that does have something to do with the story. But you find out who Blade is, and to me, kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Now, this movie overall just had a lot more fun vibe to it. I like the sets a lot more, which was done on a sound stage. I think I had heard it's done on a soundstage at Universal or something. I could be wrong. I feel like I am wrong, but I did hear that. The picture on this Blu-ray was amazing. On par or better than part 2 for sure. They did a really good job with this. Picture looks great. As far as special features go, you get a special intro, which is the exact same intro that's on part 2. You get an audio commentary with David Duchovny and Courtney Joyner. You get the original full-length video zone, which is really badass. They include all the video zones on this. Killer Puppet Master montage, full moon trailers, and the same 97 action figure commercial that was on the Part 2 release. But I definitely recommend picking this up. I think there is a pack cheap that comes with 1 through 3, so yeah, if you don't have the whole box set, but most people should have all the Puppet Masters, but this is definitely one of the ones you for sure need to pick up. It's just an awesome entry. I love the film. This is like one of the entries that makes me a huge Puppet Master fan. Just the funness and the silliness of it. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It has one of those 90s low budget feels to the set and all that just make it a full moon picture. And yeah, there's not much more I could say about it. I give it an 8.5 out of 10, just out of pure enjoyment factor. I like the ending, what happens to Richard Lynch, so, I also gotta give props to the guy who played Andre Toulon, because William Hickey did it in the first one, which I don't really dig him, but he was in it for so short a time, it was whatever. And then in part 2, they made him brutally annoying, with the voice and mannerisms and everything. So the guy who plays him in this one, I give props to, because I actually enjoyed him as a character and his acting, and he didn't make Andre Toulon brutally annoying. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, and I'll come at y'all tomorrow with Puppet Master Part 4. Alright guys, peace.